G'day friends and welcome to Aussie Moto and Outdoors. Do you see the size of that gecko? I'll zoom in later and see if I caught him on film. It is Saturday, which means I should have a video out, but I don't have one yet because it's been raining, I've been working, I've been busy. So I'm about to kit up, jump on the bike, get some footage and make a video out of it. And that's what you'll be watching in just a jiffy. Let's do it. So g'day friends, and thank you so much once more for joining me. Today I'm taking a ride down to Tinaroo, which is actually the same place and the same ride I did on my first video on the channel back a couple of months ago. So as I cruise along, I want to talk about how motorcycling saved my life. And how did it save my life? Well, motorcycling is the one biggest reason why I managed to quit smoking. So quitting smoking is something I'd wanted to do for quite a while, just like I'd wanted to get a motorcycle also for quite a while. Now, funnily enough, the two things worked together brilliantly. Now, I'm not writing a script for today's episode of Aussie Moto, I'm just sort of winging it. Speaking of winging it, check this out. Here's a plane coming on in. I thought it was going to crash into me. I genuinely thought this thing was coming in for a crash landing, or either it was a crop duster getting a bit too low, but it turns out that's the airport just off to my right there. So the plane's fine, the pilot's safe, bless them both, good job. So back to the quitting. What you need to do is work out how many packs you're smoking a week and how much that's costing you, and then make a comparison to how much finance repayments are on the motorcycle you want. For example, in Australia the R3 is $8,000 with a small deposit over 5 years. That's going to cost you $40 a week, so much less than smoking. Now, just on a quick side note, here's the kairi store. If you're passing by heading down to Tinaroo, you need to stop into this store. This is me mate Wayne. I stopped in and said hello. Now, for future videos, Wayne has cool motorbikes and handmade guitars. So we're going to do quite a bit more with Wayne in coming videos. Keep an eye out for that. But like I said, stop into his store for fuel, snacks, etc., whatever you're after. Okay, so once you've made a commitment to yourself that you're going to own and pay off a motorcycle instead of having cigarettes, as long as it is something you are truly passionate about, like for me it's motorcycles, then you should be able to keep yourself on track just by getting the bike. Anytime you have a craving for a cigarette, go out and sit on the bike. Trust me, it really works. Now, I may have mentioned, well I have mentioned in several previous videos how much rain we've had. So this is our local dam, this is Tinaroo, and you can see she's at capacity. What makes smoking so difficult for most people to quit is the fact that you're fighting two addictions. There's a physical addiction and there's a psychological addiction. So your brain wants nicotine and it tells you all the time that you need nicotine. But then there's also the psychological. So in your mind you feel like having a cigarette after specific things, like after a meal or after you've gone for a drive. Now for me and for many others, the mental addiction was the hardest part to beat. So just like the nicotine patches are replacement therapy for the physical addiction, I found the motorcycle was replacement therapy for the psychological addiction. I wore a patch for about the first 2 weeks, but I was wearing a single patch for up to 3 days and then cutting them in half to make them last longer. So for me, the physical addiction really wasn't too much of a drama. And once I got the motorbike, now I tried to quit smoking several times in the past, but once I got a motorbike, I was able to keep the mental side of things on track 100%. And if you have a look at the videos of mine, it's not just about replacement therapy, it's about getting outside and doing some things. Now I'm doing things and seeing things that I haven't done or seen in years. I am fitter and healthier than I have been in decades, and it's not just because I quit smoking, but also because I'm getting outside, I'm doing things I want to do. Once you've beaten that ridiculous, stupid addiction, you are free to do the things you want to do. And it's not just about motorcycling, as I've said, it can be about anything you want it to be about. Now the other big thing for me, now you might have noticed in some of my previous videos that I often have musical backing. Now those music tracks are provided by the Gehringer Project, which is actually me and a couple of mates of mine. Now my singing voice has deteriorated terribly over the last decade or so since I've been smoking, and since I've quit I've regained about 3 semitones, which is a considerable amount of range in my voice. Now I also have much better control. I'm not coughing when I'm trying to sing. I'm starting to sing more confidently like I used to back in the day. So everything is just on the up since quitting, and again, it's all thanks to having a motorbike. Another problem people have when they quit smoking is worrying about putting on weight, which happens a lot because people replace the cigarettes with food. Now, if you have an outdoor activity that you've used to replace the cigarettes, then you don't have to worry so much about putting on weight because you're burning so many calories outside. Now, you might ask me, well, Cam, riding a motorbike isn't necessarily burning calories. Well, A, yes it is, and B, the very fact that I'm outdoors doing stuff means that I'm burning calories as a consequence of going out riding. The ride's almost done for the day. Thought I'd stop in here at this car park, get a couple of nice shots of the bike. So back to the music I mentioned, we have a YouTube channel. It's the Gehringer Project. Would really appreciate people checking it out. Here's a little preview before we go.
He'll take a fight to no one. In desperation, the young man breaks away.
So check it out, there's plenty there. We do interviews, we do original songs, we do cover songs, and we do instrumentals. As always, it's an absolute pleasure sharing my motorcycle adventures with you. Of course, there is so much more to come, so please stay tuned. Now remember, put your phone down, get outside, get yourself a motorbike, and start having some fun. Take care, everyone.